Hello, everyone. My name is Payam Hagani, and today I'm with my great friend.
Nile Abasi. What's going on, guys?
I was talking to Niall, and we talked about relationship and what is our experience around it. So we said better to record it so we can share with you amazing people, and we won't forget these beautiful insights. Now, do you want to start sharing what was your insight for me, and then we can continue from there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, particularly through the lens of like the gifts that relationships are for us, because particularly with relationships that don't end well or don't end successfully, I think a tendency for a lot of us is to relate to it as like a failure or hold on to resentment or whatever comes up. And today I was just really present to, even in the midst of a heartbreak or an unsuccessful relationship or romantic relationship, the innate gift that that relationship gives to us, even if it's something that shows us how to experience loss or grief or shows us what we don't want in a relationship, um, or shows us where our wounds are, or whatever the case may be, like taking the gold from that experience and bringing it with you through the rest of your life or the rest of your relationships. So what I shared to Payam was essentially, I mean, do you want to share a little bit about what the dynamics of your relationship, or I mean, do you want to share a little bit of context?
Oh, sure. Yeah. What I was sharing with Niall is that there were some areas of my previous relationship that I was not aligned with, and I was not really satisfied or happy. And it wasn't my authentic self that wanted to continue the relationship. So there's sometimes, fear of change. It takes a lot of courage to get out of your comfort zone and go to the unknown. So I was just sharing with Niall that I wasn't feeling that joy or progress or growing to the depth of what I have intended for a relationship or the way that I am showing up for my side. And as soon as the relationship was gone and we decided to separate, I am present to this authentic, joyful energy that comes from me saying yes to what serves me, saying yes to what is aligned with my vision, saying
Mm,
yes to what my desires and my needs basically. And I was just sharing with you now that it's a matter of pouring love on ourselves first and then pouring love on others. That was one of my biggest breakthrough.
yeah.
I went to the depth of challenge, depth of feeling uncomfortable because I was trying always to provide for my relationship versus the lesson that I got is pour the love on myself first and see if all different situations and scenarios of the relationship, most of it at least, is what I want. And I was sharing with you the other breakthrough that I got from it is forgot it. What was the second breakthrough? First one was self love, and the other one was balance. Yes, balance. Having balance in different areas of life. Like I figure out as long as we don't take care of ourselves and our own desires, and then just focusing on one aspect or their relationship, then other areas gonna be imbalanced. So for 2019, balance is the word that I chose and I want to focus on to bring it in different areas of my life and even relationship. I am bringing this what is the healthy expectation that I can have? What are the areas that you can provide? What do you say, coach?
And then, well, so what's going to provide you with that balance is taking care of yourself and owning your power and what you need. So it's like that self-care has access to that balance, which I love so much. And the how I responded and what I want to open the conversation up to is like, what a gift that was for you to be able to experience that through the power of a relationship, which relationships are like they say, like relationships are the most difficult yoga, because it's like that's where the work is, being that close with someone and feeling all that comes up and being with all that comes up. And if we look at it from an evolved perspective, and clearly you're going to go through a relationship and or a breakup in particular, and like it's not all going to be evolved. You're going to go through the emotions, you're going to go through the resentments or whatever. But if we can really zoom out, like what a gift that is to you, of like from just a spiritual perspective of like if we just imagine two souls in the ethers, and Payam saying he's not Payam now, but he's just a soul, and you want a loving, fulfilling relationship with yourself and with others in the world, and like that other soul, which is your ex-girlfriend, is like, well, I want to be the gift that shows you what you don't want in order to achieve what it is that you do want. And if we look at it from a human level, clearly our egoic intentions or your egoic intentions didn't really match up that way. It wasn't like she knew exactly what she was doing. But if we look at it from a spiritual sense, like the humility and the unconditional love that is, that like she teaches you this gift of what doesn't work for you and inevitably what does work for you. And she doesn't even get to be with you, like that kind of selflessness and connection. And if we look at it from that perspective, the angel that she was in your life, and opening the cup up to the conversation of all of the negative or failed relationships that we have, if we looked at it from that perspective, what's possible, not only for us, but inevitably in the end, how we relate to that person and what they mean to us, and really remaining open and in love and in appreciation of what they brought to our lives. So yeah, it's just really powerful to feel that and to have that experience. And yeah.
Thank you, Niall, for saying that, because I feel in previous relationships that we both had, or the current transition that we are going through, the information is out there, but as I say, if you want to have transformations, information and implementation. So information is that, okay, this didn't work and we're separating and we're going through transition, we're going through sadness and sorrow. But how we are implementing these information, or our perspective and the lens that we look at these things, it's what changes the game. We have broken up lots of time before, but did we have this wisdom to see, okay, an angel is coming, or what was the spiritual awakening around it? Or right now you're sharing that I have a list of what doesn't work for me from self awareness perspective, like what doesn't work, what doesn't land good on me, what doesn't create a joyful experience for me. It's not about the other person, it's everything about what's happening here. Is my heart happy or is sad? Do I feel peace or stress? Do I feel having my desires being met, or it's totally opposite? So I believe what we are experiencing and sharing today, and exactly in this moment, is we want to get a great lesson from this experience. We don't want to blame. the partner. We don't want to blame the situation. We don't want to play victim. Oh, this happened to me. Now I'm lonely. Now I'm going to be isolated and depressed, which is normal if it happens for us or anyone else. We are choosing to have wisdom and have some insights. And I believe it's us empowering this experience. What do I get? How can I grow from this? How can I be a different person when I walk out of this store? How can I transform myself? I believe because we are coaches and we are into self-awareness, study every single day, every single moment, then it is helping us to change the way that we look at things.
Dude, absolutely. Absolutely. And imagine what's possible too. It's not just we talk about like what it is for us, but there's still another side of the relationship that's the other person. And we were a gift to them in some way. You know, it's completely a two-way street. And imagine the possibility in the completion of relationships if that was present on both sides. Imagine being able to truly appreciate the other person and share the insights that you got about yourself and hear them appreciate you and the gift that you were for them. And then the possibility in continuing some kind of connection and the transition and the evolution of your relationship, rather than it being like this platform for spite and resentment or whatever else comes up. And it's just there's so much potential in this area. And I think as you shared, it really comes down to responsibility. It's the gift for you isn't determining what they did wrong. That gets you nowhere. The gift for you is looking in how did they teach me about myself in a way in which I can then utilize for more successful relationships, more successful lives, more successful communication, more successful love, all the things that you want in life. Yeah, just such a beautiful opportunity to open this up for that kind of growth.
Absolutely. And what I'm hearing in your sharing, Nile, is looking at what is happening emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually for us is through the lens of spirit and through the lens of being unattached. Because the moment that I am unattached and I am with my spirit, then I see possibilities of growth, of moving forward. But anytime that it comes to my mind, that ego is kicking in and I want to make the other person wrong or the whole experience or my choices wrong and start blaming, then it shows that I'm attached. I am attached to certain image that I have created for future. And now because of that future is not going to happen because the partner is not there. It can be manifested through another partner, but like then the attachment to that image is going to make me suffer more or be sad or experience sorrow because I'm attached to that picture. My ego wants to win. I did everything right and it was about her, all the issue. But that's not the case for us right now because we want to see from the lens of spirit, from the lens of growth and not being attached. We were meant to be together. We have learned a lot. I have taught her, she has taught me. We grow together. And now is the time that it doesn't serve anymore. So we're going on our path. We're separating. So it's magical because I don't recall my previous breakups to be as empowering as this one is, because I could easily isolate myself, feel depressed, feel lonely, and blame the partner because why it didn't work out. But now is that okay, I'm in accepting situation. I'm accepting what is happening. I'm surrendering and practice what I've learned in spirituality. This is the moment. Because once we are by the beach and it's perfect weather and everything is great, it's easy to experience spirituality and connect to God and Source. But once you are going through a big, big transformation and transition and difficulties, and your mind is blowing out, oh my God, what I'm going to do next? This is the moment that is necessary to implement those practices. You were talking to me that you go in front of mirror and you start expressing your emotions. Are you willing to share more about like what is the gift of that practice for you? Because that was like unique. Like I've heard about different methods of expressing, but like talking to ourselves and expressing emotions, it's amazing, which I'm gonna implement it and see how it's gonna work for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually like a practice of self-love. So it's often, especially once you get out of a relationship, or even when you're in a relationship, it's often much easier to acknowledge and praise someone else. And that becomes a substitute for our own self-love. You know, I noticed when I got out of a relationship, like I want someone to praise, or I want to love and take care of someone the way that I did my partner, you know? And what I realize is, well, what if I can give that back to myself and create a relationship, but create a relationship from that place? So the practice is looking at yourself in the mirror, actually seeing the physical embodiment of who you are, and acknowledging yourself, loving yourself, voicing it, saying you can see yourself in a way that no one else can see you. You know exactly what you go through. You know exactly your growth. You know exactly your ground taken. And it's like, acknowledge that. So I do that practice every night of like acknowledging myself fully. And at times, especially at first, it was heartbreaking to know it was hard to do that. Like it was hard to really mean it. And then after, you know, you get practice, and it's a really, really good practice to work with that. And then eventually, for me, a lot of emotions came up, and I acknowledged myself in the way that I've never acknowledged anybody else. And from that place, then I'm full myself. I can then go acknowledge and praise and love. But a lot of times we're operating on a foundation that's scarce for ourself. And love becomes, you know, loving your partner becomes a substitute for your own self-love. So it's a good opportunity to give back to yourself.
It is. Thanks for sharing. And I'm curious, what is the gift? The moment that you acknowledge yourself, you express what you are feeling. What is the breakthrough for you?
What would it be for you?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I haven't done the practice yet, so I want to check in with you. But like, I'm guessing that it's going to be a deep connection because what we do for our clients in coaching is that we hold the space and we let them share and we listen actively and we reflect back and then we will come up with practices, both of us. So I think it's same sacred space that we create for ourselves this time. And feel
Beautifully said. You don't even have to do the practice, Pam. You're good.
no, I need to go in front of the mirror. There are emotions that I need to be aware of. And as soon as we journal or as soon as we just verbalize it, then there's better awareness. Because, 60,000 thoughts every day goes through our brain, and we need to be aware of what's going on. And also by meditation and yoga and practicing silence, we want to lessen them, have them 30,000, have them 10,000. And in those gaps, we can connect to source and God. So that is the same thing for you, huh? You
I,
create
I
a sacred
think you
space.
said wonderfully. It's well put. It's like working with clients or working with just like being with people in our lives, acknowledging our partners, we give a lot of love, and it's actually filling our own cup first, making sure that the way in which we give in the same way to ourselves. And that actually increases the way that we can give to other people because we're not giving to people off of a shaky foundation. You know, we're giving them from strength. We're giving them from a full cup.
Right. And now for me, that was the block because I am working on some blocks around the self-worth and self-trust. These two were stopping me to pour the love on myself first and make it a full cup and then bring it to other because of some trust that I am working with my coaches around it, that like what is going on around the trust and the value that I see for myself. And the moment that I see the value and here I have the cup, I'm gonna make it full. And now it's empty. So I need to trust myself that I can take care of my desires and my love. And I need to see that I totally value myself. And then the action is going to be easy from there. Okay, how can I support myself? Let's go in front of the mirror. Let me call Nile. Let me talk to my coach. Let me read this book. Let me go watch this beautiful YouTube. So the way it's going to show up is just a matter of the first jump. Do I really value myself? Do I trust myself that I can have my desires being met, or I'm always waiting for someone to support me? And that was disempowering me all the time. And now this big transition is like a shock that boom, now's the time. Go and shine for yourself and then shine with others.
Yeah, and I love how you just connected it back with self-love because that's essentially what it comes down to is the gift of relationship. That's that mirror, being able to see what's going on inside of you and seeing the muddy parts and seeing the beautiful parts and seeing the parts that you don't want to show to people, but it's all for a deeper relationship with ourself. Um, and I wanted to put in as well that it's not just romantic relationships. I mean, it's relationships in general. What do your business relationships reflect? You know, how are we relating to relationships in our family? All are the same mirror. You know, romantic relationships are more in-depth mirror. Um, but like the same thing of like the people in your life that you have resentments towards or that you relate to people in your life as being a waste of time or whatever is like, well, what was the gift that they are? What did they show you about yourself? How did they deepen your relationship with yourself, your love for yourself? And that's a powerful place to operate. So the question that I would leave everyone with is like, what gifts have you been denying in your life? You know, what gifts have people given you that you haven't fully accepted yet? That show up as far as you, if you say those things, you know, like that relationship was a waste of time. You know, this person isn't worth anything, or whatever the conversation is like, what gifts have you not fully received in your life that have come through the form of relationships?
I love that. And with having that lens of seeing every relationship, every experience as a gift, then we feel abundance of gift. There is everywhere gift. But the moment that we change this and start blaming and see the negative part, make our sorrow and sadness wrong and bad, then we're gonna have our attention on that and we're gonna create more of it. Oh, he did that to me, she did that to me. Oh, look at my cousin, oh, look at my friend, look at my family. Then we just switch everything. Like, okay, gratitude, which is a great practice. Gift. What is Nile's gift in my life today? Just seeing from that perspective changes our relationship. Even Stephen R. Covey says, every human being that you're interacting with, know that they are better in one aspect than you. Find that and learn it for yourself. Like, imagine that I just see Nile, one Nile is stronger in that area, and I can learn from him. Versus have jealousy and envy. Oh, Nile is doing this good. I'm bad. I'm a failure. It just changes the perspective. And I love that question. What are the gifts that we are not being aware of and we're not embracing it? Do you want to finish here? Because I think it's a great question to end up with. Or do you want
Yeah.
to say something?
Yeah. And what actions will you take to receive that gift? You know, what gifts in your life remain unopened? And when will you unwrap them?
Right. And there is a little secret here. Niall, I think to see all the relationships and all the experience as a gift needs us to let the ego be on the side. Because when I am showing up with my ego, then I want to be right, then I want to ignore and blame everyone. But once I put the ego on the side, I see that, okay, it's a gift. But before that, it's really hard. It's not a gift, it's a challenge, it's a problem, it's a struggle. That's how it resonates with me. Like, I feel that we have practiced a lot through our transformation, that we are letting our ego be aside and just see it as a gift.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Now. I really, really appreciate you bringing all
Absolutely.
these awarenesses, and we're gonna talk to audience sometime soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bye for now.